This is me continuing on my video from yesterday, which seemed to end rather abruptly, and it did. I don't know what happened, but the vocals ended, and I figured, well, whatever it was I shared after that point, I was talking about Josh, and determination and commitment was obviously the point that was meant to end. And this morning I meditated, and very funny story. Yesterday I was saying to someone how much I love the fact that Queensland doesn't have daylight saving, because at 5 o'clock in the morning it's beautiful to be up and walking when the sun's up. And I guess I was a little bit unconscious. I probably meant to say 6 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock on the dot this morning, I woke up and got up, and by about 5 I was out walking the dogs around the lake in the beautiful sunshine. It was such a gorgeous morning this morning. And I realized on the walk how quickly things manifest when, not only when you're in flow, because even when you're resistant, things manifest. It's simply the things that you don't want that are manifesting. And what I've noticed is everything is manifesting almost instantaneously. You're in the next moment it can manifest, it's there. And that is essentially happening with me now. I set an intention last night that I wanted to, let's see if I can think about what the intention was that I set. I wanted to know, I said in the video, I wanted to know what my unconscious money sabotages were. And I wanted to know what I needed to do to clear them, and what I needed to do to come into a different alignment, because the alignment that I'm living isn't working. I'm not overly enjoying aspects of some of what I'm experiencing at the moment. And in my meditation this morning, I was given such a massive insight into a belief that I have been holding on to, which was, if I don't have a job, it means I don't have any money, and if I don't have any money, then it means I must be homeless. And that has been running my life for such a long time. And I'm about, I guess, 3 weeks away from running out of the money that I have, and I have these patterns coming up, going, well, you don't have a job and you don't have money, so that instantly means you must be becoming homeless. And it's been really irking at me, and I've had so many different people in my surroundings say, find a job, find a job, find a job. And I check in every time I hear someone say that, and I hear consistently every time that there's no part of my vibration that is in alignment with finding a job. It's no longer in my belief system. However, I do have some obviously unconscious, untapped belief systems that are still running, that are in alignment with having a job. So if I had work, then that would probably make sense to the unconscious money patterns that I have running. So part of this, part of this 30-day, 30-night, I guess, challenge, not challenge, what's a better way to put it? 30 days and 30 nights realigning is finding those really deep unconscious money patterns that are running and ruling my life. And I also, that's what I did. This was the message I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for it to pop into my head, and it just popped in. I asked this morning, once I released that money pattern, I asked for a sign. I said to the universe, okay, I get a job isn't for me. And I get that homelessness isn't an option, because I don't believe that the universe would send me down that path. So I said, I want a sign. I want to know that everything that I believe, everything that I understand about the universe and the law of attraction and source, higher self, God, internal self, whatever you want to call it, everything that I believe about how I am here to live my life is true. And I asked for a sign. And I then got up and I sat down and I picked up the 12th Insight, which I started reading again yesterday. And I want to read just a little bit out of it because I guess for me, it's my sign. So I'm going to read just a little bit out of it. It's only a couple of lines. And he says, the document speaks very directly. It says that during the current period of history, the easy material life will get harder, with widespread financial and social disruption. Yet it proclaims that all the challenges are evoking an even greater spiritual awakening in us, where we can realize many new abilities and perceptions. But each of us has to make a decision. We will embrace this deeper spirituality or go into fear and foreboding. It's a challenge of courage, but also practicality. In some sense, events are forcing us to put our beliefs into actions. The only way to survive the level of turmoil we are facing in the world is to pursue life in a different way. And I read that and just went, holy crap. Okay, that is essentially the message. Because it's exactly that. I always go into fear and foreboding. And I've been in this position, gosh, in the last 7 years, I think I've been in this position 5, maybe 6 times. So it's obviously a pattern. And I can see it's a pattern, and when the same thing happens again and again and again, and you end up in the same position of essentially being homeless, every time this happens I go into the same default mechanism programming, which is one or two things: move back home and get a job. And that's essentially my option, is to move back home and get a job. However, there are sacrifices for me in that because I'm not able to take my dogs. And again, I come back to my belief system and I think, I don't believe the universe would expect me to sacrifice to receive. I believe that everything is possible and the universe allows based on our desires. And if I believe I have to sacrifice something to get something in return, then that's exactly what's going to happen to me. And then I read the second part, which is the only way to survive the level of turmoil we are facing in the world is to pursue life in a different way. And that screamed at me this morning. It was, come on, Kaylee. You have been doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. There are no different results in your pattern, in your unconscious pattern, in the repetitive behavior. And I can easily go out and get a job and move back home or even get a job and move in with someone else. I can do that. That's easy. It's the understanding that I'm going through this turmoil, recognizing that I have this pattern for this turmoil and going, you know what? I have to do this differently. I cannot keep living out the same pattern over and over and over again and expect a different result. And if I go and get a job, the exact same thing's going to happen, which happens every time I find work. I'm there for a couple of weeks or a month. I get super, super sick and I end up having to take 2 or 3 weeks off work. And then I end up not being able to go back because it has made me so sick that I simply have to quit. And this has been a consistent pattern for the last 7 years. Every time I have found work and every time I have used work as a solution, this has been my pattern. And I have to look at that and go, if it was a belief, then I would hear what the belief was and I would clear it. And I've asked in the past, what are the beliefs that are creating this? And I keep hearing the same consistent thing. It's not a belief that is creating it, other than the belief that says, I have to do it, or that's my only solution. And so part of this 30 days and 30 nights realignment process that I'm doing is to share with you my progress and share with you how I am doing this differently. I am allowing myself to come into alignment with a completely different way of living. I want to come into alignment and connect with the evolution and the expansion that everybody is talking about. And I haven't quite found anyone that is completely living in the same way that I kind of see life is to be lived. And I want to be the person that shows myself that it can be done. And so that is, I guess that's what the 30 days and 30 nights is about. I want to be the person that shows me it can be done.